Okay, so we've deleted all this data now, and we're going to start to put some real data in. But before we do that, we're going to see if we can get rid of this error, because at the moment what's happening is it's trying to divide this number by this number, but there's no number to actually divide it. So we're going to go inside of here, and it's a reasonably simple formula. It just says divide E2 by F2. Okay, and then we've formatted it to produce a percentage. So we're going to say, well, actually, I don't necessarily want you to do that, because otherwise you might get a message. You might get an error message. So we're going to put brackets around it, and then we're going to say if. I'm going to do 2 commas. Now, before the first comma, we'd be writing, in fact, you can check the question mark to get some information here. It's saying a logical expression, in other words, if something is the case, then do this if it's true, and do that if it's false. So let's close that. And so what is the logical thing, the argument, or whatever? And what I want to say is that if my score, which is E2, so if that is blank, you type in blank by doing 2 speech marks, that's the argument. Then I go after the comma. I say, I want you to just produce a blank. And if it's not blank, I want you to do E2 over F2. Okay? Now I don't have an error message. Now the great thing about this is I can copy that down there, down there, down there, down there. In fact, I can copy it all the way down to the bottom. Okay, so there's now formulas in all of these cells in the G column, but you can't see them. They look invisible. So I think we're going to color code that actually, just to show us that we have a formula there. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave it in this yellow. So just going to say the yellow means there's a formula in this column. So please don't delete it. And then we're going to turn these off yellow. Now this one was yellow because we were going to get a formula there. So we wanted originally we had it set up as a VLOOKUP. So we're going to say equals VLOOKUP. And we're going to say, I want you to get this value, comma. I want you to look it up inside a table that we have already named, and we called it topics, I believe. Our topics table, there we go. And I think it was the second column, so we do a second column. And then the 0 means an exact match. Oh, there's an error message. Again, there's an error message because I haven't told it what to look up. If I did, then we don't have an error. But we don't want that to be an error message. We want to put an if thing, an if blank thing again. This is called an if wrap. Those people who do spreadsheets, they call it an if wrap because they're wrapping it in this kind of if thing. So if, and then they go, and then you're going to go, right, so if this equals blank, then produce a blank. Otherwise, do what I originally asked you to do, please. And then we already have a bracket around it, so we press enter, and it's all good. Now there's still a formula there. There's not one there, but there is one there. It looks like both cells are the same, but that one's got a formula inside of it. This one doesn't. So if I go here and choose thing, it tells me the subject. But with this one, when I choose one, it doesn't work because there's no formula there. So we're going to put the formulas down, all of them, by just clicking on this little blue square and dragging it all the way down. And now the next one goes. And in fact, any of these now will go as if I choose a topic. Okay. So just quick. So now we have some hidden formulas. They are there. They just don't make it look messy if we do something wrong. It does have an error message if I do put a score, but I don't put what the test is out of. So if I say I got 5, but I didn't say what it's out of, it gives me an error. That's fine because it then tells me, oh, I forgot to say what the test was out of. The test was out of 6, and now the error message goes away and it gives me a percentage. I also noticed that we don't have validation. We could go into the validation. We don't have validation for these bits. We could go into the validation and change that, or we could just simply get those cells and copy them. And let's copy a couple more. Oh, one more. Now we've got data validation for all of them. So this is ready to populate with real test data, and it looks nice and tidy. It won't actually give me anything until I start to fill stuff out. The yellow columns will automatically populate. The other ones I need to fill out. So let's imagine we did a test today. Now, a very easy and quick way to enter today's date is to control semicolon, and we can enter today's date. Even better, you can highlight a few cells, and let's say we did 4 tests on today's date. We can highlight 4 cells, control semicolon, and we've highlighted 4 cells. And we're done. So let's just say we just did one test today. The topic was one of our topics that we've chosen, algebra. It knows that it's maths. I'm going to call it algebra test. And I'm going to enter a score. I'm going to do the test. I'm going to enter a score 8 out of 10. Okay, I got 80%, right? So all that was made up, so I'm going to delete it again. The only other thing I will add, actually, I want to add one more thing about this is how to. So I want to add a hyperlink now. So let's get the assessment, and then we're going to say we're going to add another column here, and we're going to say my attempt. This may have to be left until next episode, but we'll see how we do. So let's enter today's date, and we're going to. In fact, we're not going to enter the date because we don't know when we've done the test. We're just going to get the test ready, right? So I found a worksheet. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to Control-C, copy the link at the top. Then I'm going to go back over here. Oh, not there. Here. And I'm going to type in the test. It was called, well, let's just have a quick look at it, actually. What is it? So it's a, basically, it's a mixed maths test, isn't it? And it's called 1st of December. So let's just call it by that. Name of assessment, 1st December. Now, actually, it doesn't have a particular topic. It's a mixture of topics. So we can override the written formula and just choose topic maths. And then we can type mixed. Now, we get a little red thing because it's not one of our topics, but that's fine. It lets us do that. And then we're going to go here, and this is the clever bit. We right-click, and we go to Insert Link, or we click and do Control-K, does the same thing. Then we do Control-V, which is the link that we had before, and apply. Now we have a test that's ready to be, it's got a link to. We can click on it, open it up, and there's our test ready to go. And even after we do the test, we can always have a look at it. Even better, we can do that test, maybe do it electronically online or something, and upload our completed attempt and put a link over here. So we can say, let's type the word link. And then when we have completed that test, we can do Control-K and add the link to our completed test. Of course, we don't actually have that test yet, so we can't, there's nothing to link it to. But we do have the test for us to attempt ready there. And we can see what it's out of, enter that, see what we got, and we've got a score and ready to go. And then put a date for when you actually did the test, okay? All right.